Hey my fellow investors, welcome back to another video of investing. You see, when it comes to investing, knowledge is power, and you should strive to know what you are doing and the reason why you're doing it in the first place. Because if you don't understand the game, don't play it. Stay away until you can understand, because you're going to end up losing or making lots of mistakes that you could have avoided in the first place. So if you are like many of us and you are considering building a portfolio for income, this video is going to guide you toward successful setting up your dividend portfolio. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to give you my 5 steps for picking good dividend stocks to put into your portfolio. So as you begin the journey, you have to put inflation and market risk in the back of your head, because these are the two of the main risks that must be weighed against each other when it comes to investing. For instance, with a 5% interest, a 1 million bond portfolio provides an investor with $50,000 annual income, and will protect the investor from market risk. But in 12 years, the investor will only have about $35,000 of buying power in today's dollar, assuming there's a 3% inflation rate. Now, if you add 30% tax rate, that $50,000 is going to turn into around $25,000. Now, the question comes down to, is that enough for you to live off during your retirement? Let's explore this further. So welcome back to the video. So before we dig deep into the video, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so, and hit all those notifications so that you can be notified every time I drop a video. So first, let's explore the basics of dividends. Now, dividends are very popular amongst investors, especially those who want a steady stream of income from their investments. Now, the amount, method, and the time of the dividend payments are determined by the company's board of directors. Now, dividends can be made even if a company doesn't make a profit, and they do so to keep their record of making regular payments to shareholders. I mean, you can take, for instance, ExxonMobil. They've been struggling, not making any profits, but they've been keeping up with paying their dividends on a quarterly basis. Now, the question comes to, why should you pick dividend stocks? Now, personally, I choose to include dividend paying stocks in my portfolio. Dividend paying stocks provide me with a regular income, and they also offer a sense of safety. Now, stock prices are subject to volatility, and whether that's company specific or industry specific news. So I want to be sure I have some stability as well. The other kind of portfolio that I want us to explore is what we call equity portfolio. Now, this kind of portfolio has its own set of risks as well. Now, suppose instead of investing in a portfolio of bonds, as in the previous example that we used, you invest in a healthy dividend-paying equities with a 4% yield. Now, in most cases, these equities are going to grow in dividend payout at least 3% annually, which would cover the inflation rate and would likely grow at least 5% annually through the same 12 years. However, it's good to know that equity portfolios come with risks involving non-guaranteed dividends and economic risks. Now, the reason why I'm telling you all this is that a portfolio that combines the two methods has both the ability to withstand inflation and the ability to withstand the market fluctuations. Now, a great income portfolio, or any portfolio for that matter, takes time to build. So therefore, unless you find stocks at the bottom of a bear market, which is not easy to do, and there's probably only a handful of worthy income stocks to buy at any given time. And that's why most of my holdings are in blue chip companies, because at the end of the day, not all risks can be avoided, but you can certainly avoid the unnecessary ones if you choose your investments with care. Lastly, I want us to take a look at my 5 steps that have guided me in building up a good portfolio. My first step is diversifying my holdings, so to at least 25 to 30 good stocks. Currently, I have 29 holdings in Robinhood. Now, remember, you are investing for your future income needs, not trying to turn your money into King Solomon's fortune overnight. And now, bearing this in mind, leave the ultra-focused portfolio stuff to the guys who are eat and breathe the stock market. Receiving dividends should be the main focus, not just the growth. The second step is diversifying my weighting to include 5 to 7 industries. Now, having 10 oil companies looks nice, but the problem with that is if something happens to the oil industry, then all your stocks are going to be affected, and that's why you have to include different sectors. That's why I have over 12 different sectors, because what's going to happen is if the oil is being affected, the communication sector may be doing better, and if the communication is not doing good, maybe the technology sector may be doing better. So you have to diversify your sectors, not just having a bunch of stocks under the same sector. My third step is finding companies with a modest payout ratio. Now, this is dividend as a percentage of earning. Now, a payout ratio of 60% or less is best to allow for wiggle room in case of overseen company trouble. Step number 4 is finding companies with a long history of raising their dividends. Now, for instance, I invest in a Realty Income because it has risen its dividend for 28 consecutive years. At the same time, it provides growth. So it's like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, because what's going to happen is you're collecting a dividend on a monthly basis. At the same time, the company is growing. And you also have to understand that some companies don't want to cut their dividends, and doing so will be the last resort. And those are the kind of companies I look for. My last step is reinvesting the dividends. Now, this is a strategy known as a drip. Now, instead of cashing out, my dividends that are paid to me either monthly or quarterly are reinvested back into the same stock. Now, this one action can add a surprising amount of growth to your portfolio with minimal effort. Now, the bottom line is, while not perfect, the dividend approach gives us a great opportunity to beat inflation over time than a bond on the portfolio. And if you have both, that is even better, right? Now, the investor who expects a safe 5% return without any risk is asking for the impossible, because it is impossible to avoid risk. Now, investors have to take risk whether they like it or not, because the risk of inflation is already here. Now, growth is the only way to beat inflation. Now, I hope that was some good information that someone can use one day if they're trying to build their own portfolio. But first, I want to say thank you for those of you who have joined the journey and always leave a comment, which has helped me to improve my videos. And for those of you who have not subscribed yet, please make sure you have subscribed to the channel. Hit those notifications so that you can always be notified every time I drop a video. Thank you so much. See you in my next video.